Mama, thank you, please. Don't delay me. Oh. You know how this clothing Abuja people can be. Sorry, is my phone with me or with you? What are those documents they say I should even bring you? Task identification number. Company registration. Okay. Okay. What about my last task?
Adia! I don't even know what Where is Kumarada Gokai? No, I'm even confused. All this paper. Where's even the tax paper? Yeah? Okay, okay. This is it. Ethan! Pin number! Where is the pin? Okay. Okay, pin number. Okay, this is it.
Is it a crime for a successful businessman to own plenty businesses? I don't even know what I am going to do now since I am traveling from Onitsha to Lagos to go and buy this plaza. Where are my papers? Oh, okay, Juku. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where is my tax receipt?
The tax receipt. It's inside the house, so let me go and bring it.
Okay, be here. Come first. I'm also looking for my business registration.
It's inside the car. Let me go and carry it.
Okay, come now, please. Yes, come and help me out. I'm also looking for my tax tin number, the paper.
It's inside the bedroom. Let me go and bring it.
Okay, because come. This thing is too much. I have killed somebody's child. After they will say I used them for money rituals.
When you are ignorant, you end up like Otumba. Hey, Emma, in this time and age, I don't even have your time. Yeah, lady.
I'm confused.
Yeah, but that's confused, man. You pack papers. How about a lady?
It's the tax number.
Then the body magana number and gun for 9 yammering my ass. Hi, Chief. Chief, who do? Now, Chief, in a so good. How can 3 mighty businessmen like you still be going through all this? I'm embarrassed. Oh my God! In this time and age, have you not heard of JTB TIN?
JTB TIN.
Oh my God! It's the best thing that has happened to me. JTB TIN, the Joint Tax Board Taxpayers Identification Number. It makes my life so sweet.
Yeah.
See, with JTB TIN in this Nigeria, for the first time in Nigerian history, everything pertaining to tax has been consolidated into one tax database.
Okay.
One. That way your life is easier. Every agency that is involved in tax administration is involved. They work together in synergy to make our lives easier. No more paperwork. No more traveling from one place to the other.
In Nigeria?
Yes. See, you can sit in your house from the comfort of your bedroom.
Yeah.
Just download the JTB app. You can create your new TIN number, print your TIN certificate. You can do whatever you need. See, it's easy. Less time wasted, less human interference, thereby removing corruption.
Like the good book says, all things have passed away, behold, all things have become new. A revolution is afoot. Doing business in Nigeria and with Nigeria is about to change for the better. The long-awaited Joint Tax Board Taxpayer Identification Number Registration System has gone live. No more big bags on your visits to government ministries, departments, and agencies.
No more need to jump on the plane or on the train or on the bus for little matters like registering a new business, filing tax returns, paying taxes, and such other things. The story of the flag off, what was aptly described as the go-live ceremony of the TIN registration system is the major item on today's episode of Tax Matters. I am Chamaka Ohauchi.
And I am Pearl Naimaka. To underscore the importance attached to the project and to the event, the number 2 citizen, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, was personally on hand to flag off the go-live of the TIN registration system.
The new TIN registration system is a web-based solution offering access to authorized users to initiate TIN requests from the comfort of their offices or home, on real-time online, verify their tax status, and print their TIN certificates. It is a transparent system that assures timely and accurate collection and recording of basic identification data. It also permits the tax administrator to understand its taxpayer base for effective revenue projections and other planning activities. It is pertinent to note that the new system leverages on existing data from relevant identity management agencies to reduce the burden of multiple registration of taxpayers. It promotes the ease of doing business and paying taxes. It also ensures a seamless integration and exchange of information among the various tax authorities within and outside Nigeria, as well as with other authorized third-party organizations, agencies, and institutions via the web service.
The role that data plays in today's world cannot be overemphasized. And for the revenue potentials of the country to be maximally harnessed, it is essential that credible and reliable data is available for use. Such records are also essential to facilitate the ease of doing business and for the nation to achieve its overreaching economic objectives in line with the economic recovery and growth plan. We are confident that this new system will add immense value to tax revenue administration in the country, not only in terms of processes and procedures, but in terms of efficiency and ensuring a coordinated and systematic approach towards managing revenue generation as well as tax information sharing between and among tax authorities both within and outside the country. Ultimately, the system promotes the ease of doing business for both individual and corporate bodies.
Professor Yemi Osinbajo was personally on hand to flag off the JTB TIN registration system.
Tax administration is built around data. Without credible and comprehensive data, an efficient tax system would simply be impossible. And to function optimally, tax systems have to be aware of the important statistics, important data, the numbers of eligible individuals, the volumes of business, volumes of economic activities, the designs and strategies to take advantage of this available data are also crucial. And this is where the necessity for a proper identification of eligible taxpayers, whether they be individuals or corporate entities, comes in. A tax identification number is simply a vital instrument for uniquely identifying as well as registering new taxpayers and to bring them into the tax bracket. At the moment, we have data from corporate affairs, from the identity management systems, even from telcos, from telecommunications companies. All of that data is relevant for tax purposes. So what this does is that it brings all that data together in one particular system, which is our tax identification number. Every one of that data is now coordinated in one. So the ultimate outcome is increased revenues for government and, of course, the ease of doing business for practically every businessman or woman who must now be registered and who must now have an identification number.
Professor Osinbajo had cheering news for the JTB.
All the agencies critical to the optimal success of this initiative, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the National Interbank Settlement Systems, NIBS, the National Identity Management Commission, NIMSI, all of them have been directed by Mr. President to provide the fullest cooperation to the JTB, especially in the release of the relevant individual records.
And then the formal go-live of the JTB TIN registration system.
It is now my very special privilege to officially commission the go-live of the tax identity number registration system of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the benefit of the people of Nigeria and to the glory of God.
The new JTB TIN comes with certificates for both individual and corporate taxpayers and is available in electronic and in hard copies. Professor Oshibajo was presented with his own TIN certificate at the ceremony.
The JTB TIN Go Live ceremony was graced with the presence of who is who in business and the professions in Nigeria, including leading lights in the taxation subsector of the economy. And we asked them, what is in it all for the Nigerian taxpayer?
What is in it for taxpayer is that they are better organized now. The burden of compliance is a bit easier for them. They have access to their transactions that they've done over the years. They don't have to be looking for old documents that they may not be able to find, because at the press of a button, they can get the history of their tax activities. So it means convenience for them. It means easy compliance for those who are willing to perform their civic obligations.
It provides a lot of convenience. At the comfort of your office or your room, you can initiate TIN registration. You can also do verification of your TIN. You can print out your TIN certificate. You can also file your returns online and be able to establish your tax status. And the issue of getting tax clearance will be a touch of the button.
It will help both the regulatory authorities and the taxpayers. In ease of doing business, taxpayers are going to be able to log into the platform from the comfort of their homes or from their offices, and they are going to get a lot of value-added services like registering themselves, printing the TIN certificate, and they can access a whole array of other types of information, including their remittances and things like that.
It gives taxpayers the convenience of getting a tax ID, paying online, and having an accurate record of all their payments being kept for them on this system. Meaning that in the next 3, 4, 5 years, you want to check what you paid 3 years ago, it will still be on your system. It also provides convenience in that you want a contract, you want to do business with government, and part of the requirements are a tax ID and tax history. With your tax number, all that information is made available. So it's no issue of you saying you lost your last year's tax clearance certificate or you being delayed from carrying out your transaction because the official involved doesn't have your tax history.
The taxpayer is the winner.
It's a revolution. We also asked our respondents what a consolidated national tax database means for tax administration in Nigeria going forward.
Today is a great day. It's a dream come true. It's a day we've all been waiting for. A day that will herald a time when almost every taxable Nigerian will be able to come under the tax net and be properly assessed for taxation.
What it means is that we're now going to have a harmonized tax administration system where all the states, 36 states plus FCT plus FRS, that's 38 of us, will share information. And any taxpayer that moves, particularly we in Abuja, our taxpayers are very migrant. Every 4 years we get new taxpayers and then they go back to their state. Now wherever they go now we have a collaboration. You move from here to Rivers, we know, we move your tax this, and so it's a harmonization of the tax system.
With this new tax administration and the introduction of new TIN, a lot of taxpayers will be captured into the net without much stress, and that will enable also the government to register and increase revenue, both for the federal and state governments.
What the TIN number is going to do is going to enable us to be able to share information, to be able to identify who are taxpayers in Nigeria. You know, some people have businesses across the states. So if you are doing business in one state, you will be identified in that state with the same taxpayer number that can be identified in the other state. So it will make it easy for us to identify taxpayers. It will also make it easy for the tax administration to identify people that are not yet tax compliant.
For a change, we are all going to have one consolidated database. Databases are run in silos nationwide, and it's about time that everything was put together on one platform. For us regulatory authorities, we are going to have a lot more access to data and records that will enable us profile taxpayers across the nation. We're not going to have that situation anymore, whereby somebody comes to Lagos, wants to transact with government, and then says he's resident in Bauchi or is resident in Plateau State. What we're then going to do is, from our own offices, we can search and find out not only where he lives, but get a clue of where he carries out his economic activities.
It has streamlined everything. It's now easy for tax administrators to get on the taxpayers.
It will provide a comprehensive database of all categories of taxpayer. It means also that the tax administrators will be able to expand the tax base. We know very well that we have much to do in the area of expanding our tax base. It's not just about increasing tax rate, but about expanding the base. And in order to expand the base, you need to have adequate information about your taxpayer, where they are located, and the kind of business they are into. So it's a source that will provide those kind of information. It's also good for government in the sense that it will enhance process of planning. You'll be able to know how much is payable by all the categories of taxpayer. In that way, you'll be able. It will also it will help government in its budgetary processes.
For tax administrator, what it does is that it provides a basis for you to properly profile a potential taxpayer, so you can get accurate assessment, and then in the process, you have their own inclusive participation in the tax administration system in itself.
We are getting closer to the way tax administration system should be run, which is data-driven, which is analytics, which is making it easier for collection of taxes and assessing the kinds of taxes you should be getting, making data and information available to the tax administrator, but at the same time, that same data and information available to the taxpayer. So it's a really good step. And as we go forward, you're looking forward to flawless execution and ensuring that all those who are involved get the ownership to say that it's not just for the tax system, it's really for all governments and for everyone to embrace it and to be part of it.
It means that there is a lot of connectivity between the states, the local governments, the banks, the NIMC, the NIPS, and the revenue services. And what does that do? It creates a web of taxpayers that you can key into. As people are transacting financial transactions, it is going into the TIN data. So it is going to be a robust, very robust data for revenue generation.
We say again, there is no more hiding place. And the man in charge of it all, Mr. Babatunde Fowler, Executive Chairman FIRS, Chairman Joint Tax Board.
For the tax administrator, it makes his job easier in that he's not guessing. We have what we call the best of judgment in Nigeria, which the law empowers an administrator just to, based on gut feeling, to give you an assessment and left for you to defend it. But with this system, it takes that out of play. We see what you've done, we see the taxes you paid, and we're in a better position to give you a real logical assessment. And of course, it removes corruption.
Again, we say it's a revolution. Be put on notice, no more hiding place. Anything and everything you do now, your TIN will be demanded. Vehicle registration, airline ticket purchase, land registration, bank account opening, importation, acquisition of passport. The list goes on and on. Mr. Adewale Adedokun is the project manager, TIN.
The system was built to have analytics. That is, you can use correlation between records to flag off to the tax administrator and tax authorities things that the tax authority may not know about the taxpayers. So the tax authority will have dashboards that will show them the linkages between the records, relationships between the records you have in the database. The system is available to tell the tax administrator that Mr. A has done so transactions with Nigeria Customs Service, and if the taxpayer is not giving the full information to the tax authority, the system is able to flash those things to the tax authority, the tax administrator, so that he or she can have enough adequate information to do proper assessment. You may say you sell a recharge card beside the road. There is visibility in the system. It will see you clearly that you are not really a recharge card seller, but you are more than that. You do importation and export. So at the comfort of the taxpayer's home or your office, you can actually request for TIN, and the tax authority will take it over from there. You will automatically get a taxpayer identification number. For instance, Corporate Affairs Commission, as we speak here, is directly integrated with this system. And if you register in Corporate Affairs Commission now, before you walk out of the office of CAC, your data that the JTB needs, the JTB system needs to automatically generate taxpayer identification number for you, will be shared with this system, and automatically you will have a taxpayer identification number. We are also integrating with Nigeria Customs Service, like I said, Nigeria Immigration Service. We have Nigerian Stock Exchange. We are integrating with them so that when you do transactions, you carry out transactions with all these agencies. Federal Road Safety Commission, you actually have a G-Wagon. You have just registered a G-Wagon. Meanwhile, you are telling the tax authority that you are a retiree and you don't have any business. So by the time we have your data from Federal Road Safety Commission, the tax authority will have enough data to adequately do proper assessment.
On the inner workings of the new TIN system?
On this system, we have a mobile app. You can download from Google Store and use it like any other app. We have TIN registration. With this mobile app, you can submit a request for taxpayer identification number on the go. We have a module that is talking to TIN check. You can verify your taxpayer identification number on this mobile app if you don't know your TIN. We have a module that is talking to the nearest tax offices. You are in a place in Nigeria and you want to know the nearest tax office that will administer taxes on you, whether as an individual or non-individual taxpayer. Another component of the system is the TIN verification portal. For an individual, you submit your date of birth. That is very important. That's the first one, is mandatory. For a non-individual, you submit date of incorporation. After that, we have search criteria down there.
Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo further placed matters in perspectives in a chat with newsmen. On the implications for the Nigerian economy.
This is really the point of this. It makes business easier so that a business person, whether it's an individual or a corporate entity, can very quickly register for tax and at the same time access information, and anybody else can access information. So if you want to do business with the government, for example, you're supplying something, or you're getting a contract, all that they need to do is to have your number. They don't need to ask for any certificates. They don't need to ask for any information. They can simply key in your number and find your tax status. So it's a one government approach. You don't need to go all over the place looking for information, for documents, for this and that. All of your information is contained in that TIN.
We see a bright future for business in Nigeria, But more importantly, with exchange of data amongst relevant agencies, there is no hiding place for the tax evader. So we say to you, get online now, register for your TIN today.
It's for both individual and corporate taxpayers, and it is as easy as ABC. Let's meet again next week on the same platform. We enjoin you to pay your taxes. It is your civic responsibility.
Bye for now.